What's up, everybody, and welcome to Shut Up and Let Me Take Your Picture, the podcast where we talk about, well, the things that people don't normally talk about. Jared, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, it's been a while trying to get all this set up,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, no kidding. I mean, all of this stuff has been set up for like my streaming stuff for a while, so now we just had to troubleshoot you. I guess now would be a good time to give like a little bit of background. Jared, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been
Oh yeah,
shooting photography for?
yeah, guys. I've been shooting photography for I want to say like 11 years now. Started when I was 19 and started with weddings, and I've been shooting ever since. It's been a long road of photography. So
Have you been shooting like professionally for 11 years?
yeah, so I mean, professionally, I actually started 11 years ago when I was 19 when I picked up essentially. Okay, so I mean, I had a camera before that, but before I was 19, I think like got it at 16 for my birthday, and
Hmm.
I just shot photos of random things that caught my eye. But yeah, 19, I started an internship with a wedding photography studio. So I guess technically, but I wasn't getting paid at first. So
Oh, was it an unpaid internship?
no, when I say unpaid, I mean like I got $50 to shoot
Oh,
a wedding.
well,
Yeah.
that's not all.
That's not paid. It's just enough, you know. At 19 though, $50 to go out for the day and just do something for fun, honestly, not bad.
No, not bad at all. I probably would have done it for free.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, I guess I
Yeah.
can give a little bit of background on myself. Been shooting photography professionally for, I would honestly say professionally, for only the last like 4 years. Um, I shot a lot of photography before that. Got my first camera when I was like 16. I took a lot of pictures of a lot of different things, and I did a lot of like little stuff, like a lot of unpaid. It was fun. It was exciting, but I was really excited to pull it into like more of a professional level. Uh, I shot my first wedding without second shooting with anybody, so I went in blind, without knowing anything to do, and it turned out decent. I wish I
You're
could
the
go back and reshoot it because that would have been like the pinnacle of my career was shooting a wedding in Costa Rica, and that was my very first wedding. Was a location destination wedding on like this
what a
gorgeous
start.
beach. I know it was a great start, but unfortunately my skills did not match what they needed to be in that situation.
Honestly though, I honestly think that having such a nice background probably propped the skills up a little bit because I know when I shoot something in a good area, I automatically am a little bit better than I was in a not so great area.
Location.
Yeah. Actually, um, when I moved to Michigan, coming from Charleston, South Carolina, uh, my skills were not what I thought they were. They just weren't good, man. I was like, yeah, I got this, and then everything in Charleston's great, so you turn around and it's pretty, and
Yeah.
so that kind of got into the skill, but yeah, I had to relearn all that stuff.
That's fair. My second wedding I shot in New Mexico, at this tiny little church that just like nothing around it was really pretty. We didn't talk about going anywhere. It was just a small event that like a friend had got me. Um, and after going from Costa Rica, where everything is really pretty, and there's beaches and like green and like awesome backgrounds, to like, hey, here's this like little old church that there's nothing really special about it. And the wedding is out in the yard where there's a road right next to it and cars are going by. Um, it was a tough transition, to say the
I
least.
mean, I mean that's my favorite when you get an on-location wedding, and you're like, let's go to Hawaii for this wedding, and they want to shoot everything inside the resort hotel. You have not gone outside for anything. You're like, is this even Hawaii, or is it just some random hotel
We're
I
just
ended up
chilling
at,
in a hotel. Yeah. Um, yeah, that would suck. Have you done that?
No, 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 no. But I've
Oh,
done
okay.
weddings where I've traveled, and I did a wedding in New York, and you're like, let me see those photos. Right, awesome, New York. No,
Yeah.
it was at a one of those like all inclusive like places that host the wedding for
Yeah.
you, and you couldn't tell if it was on New York or not. Like I could say, yeah, this was in New York, but like, right, it
You
just
would,
looks like a banquet,
yeah,
a banquet
you wouldn't
hall.
be able to tell.
Yeah,
That is unfortunate, and it's gonna happen to all of us one day. So yeah, this podcast is about talking a little bit deeper into not only like the business side of photography, the skill side of photography, but also um, some of the mental challenges that you go through for photography. Um, and it digs a lot deeper than just the surface level of like, hey, I'm a photographer. Like these are the settings that I used for this picture. Um,
A day in the life.
a day in the life, a day in the life. I watched that video again, and I looked. That was
which
not a.
video?
Was not a great photography. The one when we're like back to back, and we're like a day in the life.
I knew that wasn't gonna come out
No,
good, but we
it
did it
was.
anyways.
I think like the jacket that I was wearing just made me look super super awkward, and I was like, yeah, yeah. Um,
I I think that first one was necessary. I don't know. I think it's hard to film that whole situation. We're talking about uh basically we went out and we shot some content for TikTok and photo wise, but we also had a videographer coming in behind us and videotaping the whole experience and behind the scenes and
mhm.
things. So
I think what made it hardest as far as capturing video was the fact that we also shot in some locations that we definitely weren't supposed to be,
yeah.
or at least weren't supposed to be taking pictures.
Mhm.
So a lot of it was like quick, 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 and we were on that time schedule, so we were just like bouncing from place to place, like let's get these good photos in and let's go.
Get out.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. So like on that, honestly, if you guys are looking to like start taking like your photography seriously, if you're like a newbie photographer and you don't have a portfolio, I suggest doing back to back to back shoots. And they're not all going to be great, but at least you'll have a portfolio in the end, and this is going to get you like acclimated to shooting kind of like high intensity um shoots,
Hmm.
like unless you're not wanting high intensity shoots.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what though, the one thing that I was never prepared for in weddings is you're on a schedule, and that schedule is almost never going to schedule. Um and you're always behind for the most part. And you're racing to get the photos that you want to get, and at some point you have to accept that you're probably not going to get some of the photos that you want to get. Um, and I think it's cool because it kind of pushes you to work on that time schedule.
It's definitely about being able to bend to the schedule that doesn't really exist. Yeah.
uh,
So I was gonna say like so Daniel recently quit doing anything but photography. So, okay, so what I'm saying is Daniel wasn't doing photography full time, and now you're doing photography full time. Tell us how that transition came about, basically.
oh yeah. So going full time is a really really scary thing. especially in the wedding industry, because I also DJ and stuff like that. And it's a gig based industry that if you're not working, you're not getting paid. And it's a very scary thing to just kind of leap into. It's a really scary thing, and it was a very tough decision for me because I like security. I like guaranteed income because I know I'm going to work, 5 days a week and making money. Whereas in a gig based industry, like, you don't know necessarily how much work you're gonna get, or at least at first. Um, but I will say the jump was scary at first, but it was also like kind of refreshing to not have to go to a 9 to 5 job, and the ability to work on my own schedule was fantastic. Um, it gave me a lot more drive to put more work and effort into my business, because at the time when I first started kind of like making the choice and going more professional, I didn't have the drive initially to put in the work that I needed to put in, as far as like getting my portfolio set, reaching out to people for shoots, uh, networking, um, getting a full website up, and I probably already said that, but um, like it was kind of like a side hustle. So at that point, I wasn't putting a lot of time nor effort into it, and I wasn't seeing a lot of outcome out of it. So I was like, that's not great. But once I did make the leap to full time, um, it was a good drive to put more time and effort into my business and into myself, and it's been cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's I think that it does provide for itself when you're creating for yourself and working for yourself and stuff like that. But the leap is kind of difficult to take, and
Mm.
reaping those rewards eventually happen, and you just gotta put in the work. Because if you're not like if you're not putting work if you're not investing time and effort into your well you're okay so so in order for people to want to invest time, effort, and money into you, you have to first invest time, effort, and money into yourself, right?
Mm.
So it's worth it so far, right?
Yeah, yeah. When was the point at which like you went full time with your photography? Was that at 19, or were you still working like a side job?
No, so I actually had that internship for just under a year, and then I moved here to Michigan, in which kind of like rebooted like everything because
Yeah,
I moved here with actually the camera wasn't even mine, so I actually had to buy a new camera.
yeah,
So I left the camera there. I had a lens and a flash because I bought those separately, and a laptop. And so I had a portfolio from that, and I was able to use that portfolio to kind of start getting bookings. But and then I think I booked something before I got a camera, so I think I booked it and then I bought a camera. But with my previous like experience in like cooking, I was able to pick up a few cooking jobs while I waited so I could pay everything, like pay, um, like buy all my gear.
yeah,
And what's cool is I didn't really have to like I didn't have like rent over like overhead
yeah.
when I moved here. Um, because I moved in with my girlfriend at the time, and she like still lived with her mom. But that was cool because I was able to like focus on like making the career happen. But um so full time took a while, but I started slow rolling all that stuff, and
Mm.
I tried to focus on launching the website and stuff like that, and like booking things and going to bridal shows and stuff like that. And Craigslist was much bigger at the time. I wouldn't use Craigslist now, guys,
Ah,
but
Craigslist in my head has always been like one of the sketchiest places to go to find anything.
dude, I booked a few weddings off Craigslist. Like
Did you really book some weddings on Craigslist?
yeah, yeah. So I booked a few. I think it got sketchy after Facebook Marketplace was launched. people stopped using Craigslist for weird things and started using Facebook Marketplace.
True.
But yeah. Oh, actually, like we can continue talking, but I'm gonna go find my old website
I love that.
and screen share it with you
I
guys.
love that. I'm impressed that you still have access to your old website.
Honestly, I don't know why it's still up. It is.
Yeah. My first website design was absolute garbage. It wasn't great. I didn't have a website until I got here. I guess as a little background, I moved to Michigan 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. And at the time, I didn't have a website. I barely had a portfolio. I had like 2 weddings under my portfolio and a little bit of shoots that I did with friends and stuff. And the thing that I didn't realize initially is it's a fresh restart. All of the people and contacts and like word of mouth people that you had before got wiped off of the board essentially. And so I didn't know anybody in Michigan. I knew a few people, but I came to the sudden realization that, oh, like I don't know anybody here. I don't have any work here, and I don't know how to find work. And I assume we'll go more in depth on a lot of these topics as we get further into the podcast, and like finding clients and getting clients to find you and stuff like that. But it was something that I'm still working on, and I still don't really know that much. But it was like, hey, no one's gonna advertise for you, so you have to advertise for yourself, and that really kicked in. Like, I gotta get a website going, and my first website design was garbage. And when I sent it to people, or at least people that I knew, they were like, "Hey, that doesn't look very good." So
What?
basically, yeah.
I mean, your career started in a social recession, like your full-time launch.
Yeah,
Like
it
people
really
aren't
did.
physically meeting up. Like
Yeah, so I was supposed to go full time in the wedding industry right before COVID started,
2019.
2019. Basically, right once we moved here, we'd worked like all summer, and then right right before COVID started, like right before that winter, kind of in the fall, I had made the decision like I'm gonna go full time. I got a lot of work over the winter. Screw this. I was working at Starbucks at the time, so I essentially quit. I didn't fully quit because they didn't want me to. So I basically said, "Hey, I'll train new people, but that's all I'm gonna do. Like, you call me when you have someone new to train, and I'll come in, train them,
Yeah.
and then bounce." And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, that's perfectly fine." Right when I had done that, COVID started, and I had to go crawling back to my boss, which was
Thanks.
super embarrassing, and be like,
He's like, I knew you would be back.
"Woo, can I get like, can I start working again?" And thankfully, he let me back in. But then it was another, been almost 2 years of COVID.
People are still um getting sick. We're doing a wedding this weekend, and the client said that some people couldn't make it because of COVID. So yeah, it's still happening. So it's like really hard to like focus on your career right now because you never know if they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to postpone stuff, and people are still getting laid off. I just had a client book me and then turn right around and said, hey, I got laid off. I can't afford to book you anymore.
Holy crap!
Yeah. So yeah, things are still happening with COVID and unfortunately, but I'm glad you got. I'm glad you're on your way a little bit.
I am finally at that point where people are are finally starting to recognize my name, kind of. I'm excited for it. Now I just got to get on the international scale.
Oh my gosh. Let's
We're not just
start
taking
troubleshooting.
Michigan, we're taking the world.
Nice. Oh, guys, I pulled up the website just so you guys can see. Let's see. Can I screen share that?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, check out these old school photos, guys.
Nice.
I love them.
I
These are,
like the super wide angles.
guys, this is like a fisheye lens. Look how wide that is. Look how distorted it is in the corners here.
I
I
mean,
sold that lens.
really? So at the
Yeah.
when did you have this website?
Honestly, some of these weddings I think are from like 2016. Like the latest one might be from like 2016 at latest.
Dude, like
Like
early 2016, like early 2010s, I guess. Like the fisheye and like the intentionally crooked picture were kind of in. Like not like fully crooked, but like
slight tilt to
intentionally
it.
slight tilt.
Yes.
I had a wedding where I was DJing the wedding, and I was talking to one of the photographers that was there, and they were showing me like their old portfolio stuff, and they were talking about it, and they're like, ah man, back in the day when, I would line up my shot and then intentionally put a slight crooked on it because that was the style.
It was the style. And so that's so funny because I feel like now we would never do that anymore. Yeah, you can see these packages here though. This wasn't my first, so this isn't even the first rendition of the website. This was my last rendition of this website before
wow.
I moved from Wix to
Nice.
Squarespace.
Nice.
Just because of the ease of how things were. But you can see how my last package starts at 3,800.
Yeah.
And then my new website, the packages start at 2,800. It's like $1,000 jump, guys. So you can bump up your rates. Do it now. We're in what is it called? Inflation. The inflation's going on right now. You can bump up those rates, guys. But at the same time, people are losing their jobs. It's very freaking weird.
That is true. It is. It's a strange economy that that's one of those topics that I would love to talk about later as well. This is like the intro episode. I love it because it's not very. We didn't really have a plan coming into this one, and that's okay. It's a very introductory episode in which once we get a little bit further into the podcast, we'll start breaking down actual topics and really diving in deep. But I think this is a good one because it's like a hey, get to know us. Like, this is who we are. This is who you're stuck with for as long as you want to listen to this podcast, and I hope it's a long time. Are you refocusing your camera?
Dude, it's like slightly out of focus and it's driving me nuts.
Slightly. I think I'm actually out of.
Okay.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
It's like really small right now. So.
You would think as photographers we'd be better at using cameras.
Video is different.
Video is a whole different beast, and I want to get into that as another topic at some point. Like, where is the cross between like video and photography? I actually know there's one photographer that I know that he shoots B-roll in between like his shots. And I was like, how do you do that, man? Like, how do you have the time to shoot B-roll? Like, quick B-roll, like, of somebody walking down the aisle or something like that.
In 2019, I did a BTS video with my GoPro and the camera I'm actually recording with right now while shooting weddings.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that was crazy. I did it at a few weddings, and I have some like BTS stuff, and I'm like, it's too much effort.
It is a lot of effort, but I'm attaching this bad boy to my camera this weekend. It's a GoPro.
Oh, nice.
I realized that for those of you that might just be listening to the audio, you don't know what I'm holding in my hand. So I have to be very explanatory. But yeah, I'm gonna attach a GoPro to the top of my camera and shoot a lot of behind the scenes. I think I got like hours of footage on this thing.
Dude, should I bring mine? I think we should do a vlog this weekend.
That'd be cool.
For the wedding.
I like that.
Should be. Oh, so the wedding this weekend is me and Dana were shooting together. It is it's in West Michigan, Shelbyville. It's like this nice little boathouse on the lake. So it should be a really nice event, really chill. I think like 50 guests at most.
I'm excited for that. That's like
relaxing.
a little like small event. I'm impressed that they chose to add a second shooter. That'll be fun. Be fun.
Yeah, no. Well, it's honestly to just kind of like make sure you capture everything.
True.
Yeah. It's a little different than the ones I've done at this location before, but should be fun.
I'm excited for it. Excited for it. So
Yeah.
since we have this little break moment, what's the craziest shit that you've seen happen at a wedding?
I'm not sure that I'm allowed to talk about this stuff on the podcast.
You don't have to say names, you know?
Okay.
So I did a wedding one time, and my video guy was trying to videotape the groom. The guy was laying in the pews, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this dude was laying in the pews. Video guy walks up, says, "Hey, I'm here to take your video," and he's like, "I got wasted last night. I really don't want you in my face right now." And so 5 seconds later, he proceeds to run out of there, and oh wait, no, it wasn't 5 seconds later. It was right after the ceremony. He like barfs all over the floor. And yeah, dude, that was wild. And I don't know if it was the same wedding, but for some reason, every time me and the same video guy get together, we get the weirdest weddings. Okay, so that happened, right?
Yeah.
And then one of the groomsmen got so drunk that they had to kick him out of the reception. Because before the reception even started, because he was just crazy.
Too wasty.
And then the other wedding that me and him did that was super crazy was we went to same guy, me and the other video guy, and we went to a wedding, and right after the ceremony we couldn't find the bride and the groom. And they were supposed to do their rice toss exit.
Yeah.
Where are they? You know where they were.
Ooh.
But in that same wedding, I had been previously I'm gonna skip that one. But in that same wedding, again, we were on the boat. We got on a boat for this one. It's like a regular well, like it was kind of like a yacht, but it was small, like a really small yacht. It's like really small. But the video guy comes up to me after a few seconds and he's like, "Dude, so I have some footage I have to delete because one of the bridesmaids flashed me for the video."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, dude, please don't include that in the video. Just delete that.
Yeah.
So there's just like, and that's 2 separate weddings where people were just so wasted before the reception even started.
Oh my goodness. People do that well, I guess not way too often. I haven't seen it a ton. I'm gonna be speaking from I don't have a lot of photography weddings under my belt, but I do have a lot of DJ weddings under my belt.
Yes.
And I've seen some crazy stuff happen. So we had the dance floor going, and the video guy had like a GoPro on like a stick. And so one of the shots that he was trying to, it might have been like better than a GoPro, I don't know. He had it on a stick, and he was trying to get that shot where it's like an upward shot of like people dancing. But when he went down there, like one of the girls just like stepped over the camera like on purpose, like in her dress, and like I don't know what the word is, but like flicked her dress out so that it was definitely an upskirt. And then one of the other girls was like, ha 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 ha, and then did the same thing. And so this video guy is like, like it was definitely not his intention. And they were just like upskirting his camera on purpose.
Be safe out there.
Yeah, no kidding. And so he pulled his camera and he walked over to me and he's like, I gotta delete that video. I'm deleting that video right now. And he just like went into his camera and just like deleted that video.
You guys need to start bringing lawyers with you to weddings.
No kid. Well, I mean, I don't have any problems at weddings, you know.
You haven't yet.
Not yet.
But you will.
Not yet.
You will.
Not yet. I just
maybe COVID's changed the rules.
That is true. That is true. The only thing that I really get at weddings is people telling me that I look like Captain America.
Dude, you should have worn the suit for the first. I know you don't have one, but you needed to get a suit for the first podcast.
I used to have a suit. I used to have a Captain America suit. Now I just have a Spider-Man suit.
But you know what? Actually, do not wear the suit. We will probably get sued by the, you know.
Yeah, yeah. What, you think we're gonna make money with this podcast?
No, regardless, they'll come.
Disney will come for us. Or Marvel, like same thing. Disney, Marvel, they're the same people at this point.
Yes.
What was the other story? Oh, the other story was Derek's story. This is a very interesting thing that I've never heard anything like this happening at a wedding. So it was during dinner, like during the reception. The bride's grandfather passed away at the reception.
What? I don't mean to laugh. That's insanity.
Yeah.
I really don't understand.
Yeah, so every time I've talked to Derek about it, he goes, I guess to give background, Derek is like the guy that owns the company that I work with when I DJ. But he said he wasn't sure what to do, like when it happened. Like everybody just started like gathering around and screaming, and so he just like slowly pulled the volume down, and then he had that awkward moment of like once the ambulance came and like took away.
You have to wrap it up. You can't continue.
Well, that was his thing, is like, do we keep playing music? Like, is this still going on? And so the bride and groom actually said, you know, I think that he would want us to celebrate. So we're gonna keep going. And so the party continued for the rest of the night. That's probably the wildest story that I've ever heard.
That's actually probably the wildest story I've ever heard. I don't think that anything I've ever done has gotten that crazy. Like, I don't know. As a photographer, I would be like, do I leave? Like, I don't know right now what's going on.
I think all the pictures from now are going to be like morning pictures, so I should probably go now.
Yeah.
And then it's like a tough, like, do you approach the bride and groom and say, hey?
So your timetable on editing moves up pretty quickly. That's like a 36-hour turnaround time now. Originally it was 2 months, now it's 36 hours.
I'm gonna go home and start editing these just so we can get these to you, and you guys don't need to wait anymore. It's fine.
That's wild, dude. Dang. On another note, let's flip this around. What's your day-to-day look like? What does your day-to-day look like for photography? I know everybody's looked different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as being like what does my day-to-day look like as like a self-employed business owner?
Yeah, what do you do? Like what, like you just roll out of bed at 12?
Not 12. It happens sometimes. Like day-to-day as a business owner, like when I first started and did like the fully self-employed, I was super excited. Hell yeah, like I get to make my own schedule, I get to do whatever I want. And then I realized that I wasn't making my own schedule and I was doing whatever I wanted. So I would like, you know, I'd wake up at like 12 and I'd be like, oh man, that was cool. You know, and then I would be like watching TV while like responding to an email, which there's nothing wrong with that, especially like the multitasking aspect, because if you, in my opinion, if you make your home life too businessy, like what's the point of even being self-employed at that point, you know?
You quit your 9 to 5 so you could work at 24/7.
Exactly. And that's one thing that I don't want to do is work a 9 to 5 if I don't have to. If I can avoid it, I don't want to work that much. And so what I've realized is it's a lot of balance, and you really have to be on top of yourself and scheduling yourself out. And actually, what was the biggest advice that I ever got? The biggest advice that I ever got was actually like give yourself work hours. Like say, even if it's not like a 9 to 5 or anything like that, say, hey, between like 12 and 4 is business time. Like that's when I'm gonna get stuff done. That's when I'm gonna respond to emails. And even if it's just that short period of the day, you know,
4-hour work days, guys.
yeah, that's still like it's still a scheduled time to work. So that you know you're not just working gradually throughout the day. Because I have found that working gradually throughout the day, you tend to put off a lot of work.
Don't do
I am
that.
a procrastinator. I would write college papers the night before the paper was due. And I found that I am still a procrastinator to this day. And if I don't get work done at a scheduled time, I'll get it done later. God knows when later is, but I'll get it done later.
10 years from now.
Yeah, so scheduling like those business hours for yourself has been one of the best like advice that I've gotten. So my day to day is usually like I take it pretty easy in the morning when I wake up, because I don't want to wake up and start working. You know, like who wants to wake up and start working?
No.
So I usually like I'll wake up, I'll get some coffee. I usually end up right now it's a tough situation because like my TV is in my room right now, so I spend a lot of time in my room, unfortunately. So like I'll wake up, I'll get some coffee, I'll go lay back down on my bed, and I'll like I'll turn on like a show that I want to watch or something like that. Or if there's like a new episode out, I'll end up watching that and get caught up with like all of my phone messages and stuff like that. And then I usually go to the gym in the morning and then get back and start working around 1-ish usually. And then I work until 4, and then the rest of the night is just for like getting personal things done, which is super important too, because like I said, if you get caught too much up in the hey, now I work 24/7, it kind of ruins your life. And the biggest point that I realized that was I was on vacation and I was responding to work emails.
Oh,
I just
I
had
do the same thing.
Yeah, I just had like a 3-day vacation. It wasn't even like a long vacation. And I was like taking work calls and responding to work emails and stuff like that. And I realized that this is vacation time. Like
So interjection on that. I feel a lot of clients have this really I think the cat just crawled underneath the door to get into my room.
that is awesome.
I mean, she's kind of small,
That's impressive though.
but I don't understand how she fit through. Anyways, so as far as clients go, there's this thing where I don't know if it's like millennials or Gen Z, but like, dude, if you don't respond within like an hour, they're like, hey, I just emailed you an hour ago. Where's my response? You're like, chill. And I have people text me instead of email me, and I'm like, you need to set parameters for yourself. So automatically, like, if you're doing work things, you need to switch that text to an email. Say, hey, I don't really do texts.
Yep.
Can we talk via email? Because I give myself 36 hours to respond to anything. I'll try to respond in 24 hours. If you email me on the weekend, you will not see a response until Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a really, really cool thing. And Derek actually, so he has an automatic email response for weekends. If it's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday and you email him, it'll send an automatic response back that says, hey, it's a very busy weekend for us. I'm probably out DJing right now. And so I might be a little bit slower responding to this email.
The fact that we even need that is insane, though.
Right? That people, like, if you don't get a response, and that's what I noticed too, is like, if you don't email somebody back within 24 hours, like, they're gone. Like,
sometimes, yeah.
Well, somebody else responded faster than you did. Usually at that point. And so, like, scheduling an auto response for that, I actually did it over the weekend.
Yeah, so that's kind of toxic, though, in the same sense that you had to schedule to set that up, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough that you do have to set these things up, but like once they're set up, they're there.
Yeah.
And guess what? You're not the last person that responded, because your auto response, even if it is just like an auto response, it's like, hey, I'm busy right now. It's still a response. They still heard from you.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but it's like, it's covering your bases. And this last time that I went on vacation, I set up an email that was like, hey, I'm on vacation, but like, you're still going to hear from me. Just probably not as soon as I would normally respond. But you know, like, I appreciate your patience, and like, I'll email you soon. But yeah, like, I was trying to get like that instant response when I was on vacation. So like, I'd be in the middle of having like a good time with my family, and then I'm like, oh, hang on guys, I gotta go respond to this work email or something like that. Like, and I think having a good balance between, and I know you wanted to talk about this further in, but having like a good balance between your work life and your personal life and keeping those boundaries is super important. And that's where setting like, hey, I'm going to work between 12 and 4. These are my working hours. This is when I'll get some editing done, or I'll respond to my work emails, respond to texts, call clients or whatever. It's good to have like that specific time that's set out so that you can still enjoy your personal life and not have them like blend too much. Otherwise, it's just not a good time. So what is your work from home, self-employed day-to-day look like?
I don't want to show you. I do want to show you, but I don't want to show you because it looks crazy. So first of all, get yourself a sticky notepad for anything that you put on your list, and you want to put some stuff at the end of the day on the sticky notepad, because you're like losing your shit at the end of the day. And you're like, okay, the sticky note only has like 4 things on it that I have to complete. And so there's not this huge list. But I have me a massive notebook here, and I fill that up.
That's awesome.
With tasks.
Yeah.
So day to day, it's like Monday's agenda, I write it down, and then at the end of the day, I'll write tomorrow's agenda. So things that I want to get.
Things that
Cat is eating my
done.
pencils. Yeah. Yeah, things that I want to get done, you know, tomorrow.
Yeah.
And anything that doesn't make it, and anything I can't complete in the day, I'll go ahead and move over. But yeah, so day to day, like I wake up in the morning between 8 and 10. Daniel doesn't have kids, but I have 4 kids.
Hey, so I still wake up at 9 a.m. Thank you
very much. I don't always wake up at 9, but depending on the day, I'll wake up, start my day off with some breakfast and some TV. Don't want to take the morning too seriously, and then then we'll look at the agenda. We'll break down what's going to happen and what order, and we'll start working on that. We'll work on the social media aspect of things a little bit, and then I'll start editing if I have anything to edit. And I'll give that a few hours, and then after I'm done editing, while watching TV at the same time because I have to multitask.
Naturally.
um, then my work day ends a little bit earlier than yours because it starts a little bit earlier. But I try not to go past 3 o'clock. If I can avoid going past 3, I'll stop. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much the normal work day. I get through emails, social media, posts
Yeah.
on social media. Keeping track of that is the hardest part. Is like if I'm not working to do the marketing and branding and portion of my business, I'm not making money.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I have to self promote and market and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't focusing on that. Should probably focus on that a little bit harder. I think some days I'll skip. Like if I'm slow, I'll skip editing for the day and I'll start working on marketing instead because I need to make money more than I need to get the edit out.
Yep.
If I have time left to get it out, so I'll put it on the back burner for a couple days until I can get money coming in. But winter's slow. Summer's kind of slow right now because of COVID.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, that's a cool way to see it, though. I never really thought about that. That like you would much rather market your business to gain more business than to satisfy this one client quicker than your deadline. You know?
exactly. So like just make your deadlines and you're good, but
Yeah.
why exceed the deadline if you don't have to? Because like yeah, you want to get it out and make them happy, but like if there's nothing coming in right now, you better focus on marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. So that wraps up today's first podcast. And how do you feel about how it went, Jared?
After all the technical difficulties, it wasn't too bad. As you can tell, I live with 4 children. My room is always a mess.
I'm gonna say that is probably the most organized mess that I've seen.
Okay, so the office stays as clean as I can keep it.
I mean, heck yeah. So that was episode 1. Just a chance to get to know us a little bit more and a lot of the future topics that we're gonna talk about more, because I think a lot of the stuff that we covered today, I want to get like more in detail into. So today we didn't have too much of a plan, but I know Jarrett has a lot of really good ideas, and I have a few ideas of topics that we want to talk about, and we're excited to share with you guys.
So thanks for coming to our podcast. Stay tuned for another episode of Don't Play with Fire.
Heck yeah!
That's not the podcast name.
It's not the podcast name.